Hello everyone and welcome to my series I decided to just call Historically Correct. Not really a fancy name I would say, but it seems okay. So a quick explanation about the series. Pretty much I will be covering historical tanks, planes, boats, mainly from the World War II era, maybe Cold War in the future. And as well, I'll also be having some live action gameplay later on in the video after the history part. So if you want to just skip to gameplay, you can do that just by scrolling in the bar. I'll also have timestamps in the description if you would like to just click on one of those to just skip in as well. So with that out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes, or in the Japanese case, rice and fish. Type 97's history. So let's begin with the history and development. With the Type 89 Chiro fast becoming obsolete in the 1930s, the Imperial Japanese Army, or the IGA, began a program to develop a replacement tank for infantry support. Experience of the invasion of Manchuria determined that Type 89 was too slow to keep up with a motorized infantry. The new medium tank was intended to be a scaled-up 4-man version of a Type 95 Ha-Go light tank, although with a 2-man turret, thicker armor, and more power to maintain performance. The Tokyo factory of Mitsubishi Heavy Industries completed a prototype designated Chi-Ha. The second prototype was completed in June 1937. Although the requirement was for a 47mm cannon, it retained the same short-barreled 57mm cannon. However, at the time, the IGA was more interested in the lighter Chi-Ni prototype proposed by the Osaka Army Arsenal because it was less expensive and had the same 57mm gun. The Second Sino-Japanese War broke out on the 7th of July 1937. Peacetime budgetary limitations were removed and the most expensive Mitsubishi Chi-Ha model was accepted as a Type 97 medium tank. The Type 97 hull was of a riveted construction, the engine in the rear compartment. In the forward compartment, the driver sat on the right and the bow gunner on the left. The commander's cupola was atop the turret. Internal communications were actually by 12 push buttons in the turret, connected to 12 lights and a buzzer next to the driver to communicate with one another. Type 97 initially equipped with the Type 97 57mm cannon, the same caliber that was used earlier in the Type 89 I-Go, which is a slightly inferior tank. The cannon was a short-barreled weapon with a relatively low muzzle velocity, but sufficient as the tank was intended primarily for infantry support. The gun had no elevation gear. The tank carried two 7.7mm Type 97 machine guns, one on the front left of the hull, and the other in a ball mount on the rear of the turret. The latter could not be remounted on top of the turret for anti-aircraft use. The tank carried two 7.7 Type 97 machine guns, one on the front left of the hull, and the other in a ball mount on the rear of the turret. The latter could not be remounted on top of the turret for anti-aircraft use, but, that would actually make the vehicle kind of sick. The turret was capable of a full 360-degree traverse. The main gun had a second pair of trunnions, internally allowing a maximum 10-degree traverse independently of the turret. The thickest armor used was a 33mm on the gun mantle and 26mm on the turret sides. Power was provided by an air-cooled V12 2. Power was provided by a air-cooled V12 21.7-liter diesel Mitsubishi engine, which provided 170 horsepower. Pretty good. Like I think a lawnmower has a little bit less than that. The shortcomings of the Type 97 with its low velocity 57mm gun became quite clear during the 1939 Namahan incident against the Soviet Union and Mongolia. The 45mm gun, Soviet 5 and BT-7s, outranged the Japanese tank gun, resulting in heavy Japanese losses. This convinced the Imperial Army that they needed a more powerful gun and developed a new 47mm cannon in 1941. The Type 1 47mm tank gun was designed specifically to counter Soviet tanks. The Type 97 medium tank was manufactured by Mitsubishi Heavy Industry, about 1,224 units, and Hitachi Industries, about 355 units, as well as some limited production in the Army's Sagami arsenal. A total of 2,123 vehicles were constructed from 1938 to 1943, of which 1,162 units were the standard Type 97, 930 units were the improvised Type 97K version. The remainder were various specialized variants produced in small numbers. The Type 97 medium tanks produced were slightly lower than that of a Type 95 Hago light tank. The Type 97 was deployed first in Manchuria and China in combat operations in the Second Sino-Japanese War, with considerable success, as the ill-equipped National Revolutionary Army of the Republic of China forces were limited to only 3 tank battalions consisting of British exports of the Vickers, the German Panzer IS, and the Italian CV-33 tankettes. However, its first real test in combat against opposing armor came with the Namahan incident, also known as the Battle of Khalkhin Gol. I probably butchered that. In 1939, against the Soviet Union, the IJA's 1st Tank Corps, consisting of the 3rd and 4th Tank Regiments, Yasako Detachment, has been assigned to the Namahan region under the command of Lieutenant General Yasuku Masumi. Of the 2 regiments, only the 3rd Tank Regiment had supplemented with 4 of the Type 97 medium tanks, which one was selected as the regimental's commander's tank during the Namahan campaign. During fierce fighting against the Red Army, which the 3rd Tank Regiment was assaulting an objective, Lieutenant Corporal Yoshimuro, Type 97's tank had become entangled up to its drive sprocket, struggling to extract itself from the tank trap. Lieutenant Corporal managed to move his tank only about 40 yards when his machine became stopped completely. Now exposed to the Russian defensive positions, Yoshimuro's Type 97 projected to fire a dozen Soviet BT-7s and anti-tank guns. Russian shells struck the tank's drive gear, hull, and in the engine area, causing the vehicle to erupt in flames. When the fire reached the tank ammunition, the tank exploded, throwing the turret several feet away from the hull. December 8th, 1941 and early 1942, during the Battle of Malaya and Battle of Singapore, or as I'd like to call it, the time British troops fought their French troops, the Type 97 tanks were used by the 3rd Tank Group, 1st, 6th, and 14th Tank Regiment under Lieutenant Yamashita's army. 1st Tank Regiment was attached to the IGA 5th Division, which was among the first to land on Songkhla in southern Thailand. One of its medium tank companies was the 3rd Tank Company under 1st Lieutenant Yamani. 10 Type 97 medium tanks and 2 Ha-Go light tanks. In part of the Sagai detachment, the company was in the vanguard of the attack. One key to the Japanese success in Malaya was the unexpected appearance of their tanks in areas where the British did not believe tanks could be used. The wet jungle terrain did not turn out to be an obstacle later. The 2nd and 14th Tank Regiments participated in the Burma campaign, and well, that's about it for history. So, if you want to stick around, or if you're just here for the history, a like would help. It would help me with growing my channel. A subscription to help. I'll probably do more of these. So here we are in game number 1. I think my plan will be to go around in between A and B. This map is actually quite good for a little bit of everything, I feel. Best part is getting on like one of these hills, and if you can trap them in like a little valley where it's like this, it can be pretty good as long as you have enough dampening. This one, or depression, yeah. I mean this one is pretty good depression, I feel. I mean, all Japanese tanks actually had pretty good depression. Then again, I mean, maybe they were depressed. That's a lot of enemies. So apparently too, this cannon actually has a stabilizer, but I personally don't really notice it. At least not to the point where I feel like I can just run around the map like an R3 and just kill everyone. Uh-oh. It's an uh-oh stinky for you, man. Uh-oh. It's a lot of people. Gunner out, take your commander out, take everything out. Uh-oh. That's a real bad one. Oh, never mind. See ya. Okay, now I'm gonna die because I'm defenseless. And they all ganged up on me. Man, what should I do? I only killed 3 of them, but that's pretty good. So I guess we'll get into another game. Here we are in game number 2. One of my, well, I have a lot of favorite maps, but this is probably one of them. Mainly just for this entire big strip right here. There's always combat, which I feel like more maps should have in a way, but I don't know. I don't make the games. Play them, you know? Got the first strike. Land my artillery right there. Of course, anyone could take me out if they're right over there. But at the moment, just kind of hanging out. Got his engine. Got him. Uh-oh. 15 centimeter. He's dead. E20's undamaged. I'm probably gonna die now. Okay. Fair enough. That little T-26 sure does pack a punch. Like, you'd imagine a BT-7 or BT-5 would be able to do that, but instead it's actually a tiny little tank like that that can bring down this behemoth, this absolute legend of a tank. Alright, here's next game. And a very fitting map, I feel. Feels like home, even though I don't live in Japan. It's just a joke about the tank. Funny joke about the tank. Does you get it? It's from Japan. And I can't hit him. It'd be nice if you could actually take out these little support things, because every single time it's just who can shoot through it the first. If you're battling for this point, it's, I don't know. Like this guy is such a big advantage. He's like right at the point, but he's not like tall enough. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna die. Maybe he'll actually help me. Oh, never mind. I mean, it's not like it's a too bad of a design. It's, you know, the same assets over and over again. But, I mean, what can you do with a desert? And at the same time, too, I don't know. I like the other desert maps, though. I like the one with, like, the oasis. That one's kind of nice. I can't do anything against that T-70. Okay, good. As long as they kill the ones I can't kill, I'll be okay. I'll kill the ones I can kill. Unless I lose my gunner. And then I get shot by someone that flanked us. Get him, PZ. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Leave me alone. Oh. It was so close. So, like a little quick conclusion about this tank, what can I say about it? Well, the tank is okay. You know, it goes pretty quick and reach a decent speed. It's alright at climbing up hills. Apparently the stabilizer in it exists, but I don't really notice much of a difference. The shell, it's okay. Not really got that much explosive power, I feel, like most other tanks have. It turns nice. It has machine guns. They call in artillery. But of course the cons would be the armor is like a tin can, just like the Horo. Penetration is pretty poor. At least for the Type 92 APHE. Crew size is 4, which, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty average. And like I've been discussing, I'm pretty sure I've said it, pretty much with the shell, I guess because it's such a low velocity, it can't go through like a chain link fence. It'll actually get stuck and it will just explode the fence, and then, yeah, you usually die. Which I think is the only low battle rating tank that does that. I know that some Italian tanks actually can do that, where it will just hit and then it does nothing. But that was like the Fiats or like the higher tier Italian tanks. And of course, it's not a long range tank, it's a pretty short range tank. So you gotta just run in there, and if you die, you die. So, kind of makes it better for arcade. So, conclusion, okay. Not bad. It's, it's a tank. If you want to play it, feel free. It's pretty easy to get. All you just need is, yeah, just a first med tank. So if you guys like the video and everything, and if you surprisingly stuck through the entire thing, hats off to you. Hopefully the video was okay. When I was recording the history and everything, my microphone was a bit screwed up. I just had a problem with OBS and I was able to fix it, and pretty much I'm just trying to play with my microphone settings, trying to find something that's nice without making, keyboard sound effects and, mouse clicks and everything. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, bye. Take care. God bless.